on down to Crazy Johnny's Player Emporium, where we got players for a fraction of the price of them bigger clubs. We got all sorts of players. We got left backs, we got midfielders, we got strikers, we done got all sorts. So come on down to Crazy Johnny's and get you some. With prices this low, I must be crazy. Go ahead and shoot, boss.
Yes, thank you. Johnny, your team sits atop the table. Are you at all afraid that these recent moves will be detrimental to your team's performance?
You know, this transfer day reminds me of the time me and my pa were down at the peaks hunting elk. I turned to him and I said, "Pa, don't you ever feel bad taking down these glorious creatures?" My pa turned to me, grabbed me by the shoulders, looked me into my eyes, into my soul. He said, "Johnny, don't you ever forget what I'm about to tell you. Life is an eternal river, and right now, we're the current driving that river. We're moving the fish. We're sweeping up the mud and the soot. But one day, there's going to be a bigger current, a stronger current that we can't possibly hope to compete with. Right now, we're the hunter. But one day, we're going to be that elk." You over there, go ahead.
Given the number of players sold, are you afraid of the backlash from fans? And more importantly, from the board?
You know, Paul always said that if you do right by others, and more importantly, if you do right by yourself, then, well, all the other stuff just has a way of working itself out. You know, back at home, I used to ride out to the valley in the wee hours of the morning, get there before the sun even came out, look out into the vast darkness before me, would feel the weight of those shadows on my soul, heavy enough to crush a man. But I knew that the light was coming just up over them hills to defeat that darkness. Bathed in that glorious light, I knew my path was true. When the day of reckoning comes, and it will come for all of us, when I'm judged by the powers above, well, I know that I can stand tall, knowing that I done did good.
So, you haven't talked to the board?
No, sir, I have not. And I am trying to avoid them, I must admit.
Johnny, why is your beard moving?
Well, that there's a lighting issue. I am, after all, only human. My studio is not perfect. But my beard is an entity of its own. It is alive. So for it to be moving, well, just is what it is. No more questions. Hey guys, I'm Giant2Thumb17, and my beard is currently out of control. My winter beard growth is just, it's just something else. I am telling you, I see it every day, so I don't really notice it. But just seeing myself in the camera, it's so big and scraggly. Oh, I look like I've been trapped in the woods for like the past 3 months. I'm just now getting out, especially with my hair down. I'm just like one giant fur ball. Anyways, this is the transfer day special. This is the aftermath of the transfer day. There's not going to be a game today because we had, the clips going on and we have some big news that we need to talk about. So let's just go ahead and get straight into those transfers. So as you can see, I had mentioned before that our summer transfer window was sort of calm, that we didn't bring in that many players. This transfer deadline came and we went crazy. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we started getting 1 million offers for players. And for a small club like that, it was incredibly unusual. We don't get a lot of offers for our players. We are in the Russian second tier. We're not a big club, and given that we are a small club, some of these offers were just too good to turn down. When a team's offering 5 times what a player's worth, you just can't say no when you're trying to turn a profit, when you're trying to improve your facilities. So last episode, we talked about bringing in Marcos Pinto. As of right now, I don't think anybody's watched that episode. So none of you guys know who Marcos Pinto is. So let's just go ahead and take a real quick look at him. Not spectacular by any means. I think he has a great foundation, especially mentally. Physicals could be a little better. Some of his technical stuff could be better. His tackling is not great, but I like his positioning. I like his marking. I think he'll get in position to make a lot of interceptions. I think he's going to do, a really good job for us. And most importantly, we brought him in on a free. I love signing those free players, finding diamonds in the rough, getting the most value we can out of our players. So that was from last episode. Let's go ahead and talk about who left. There are some big names. I had warned you guys last episode, again, that nobody watched. So you didn't get this warning, but I had warned you guys that the club was going to look different. We had gotten some of these offers, a couple of these offers before the transfer deadline. So I knew that they were in the works, but I didn't want to ruin it just quite yet. Let's go ahead and take a look who we got rid of. We got rid of Artie just for a straight fee of $170,000. This was a player that we signed on a free. He was valued at $135,000. So getting $170,000 straight up for him was pretty good. The next release was probably the hardest one to make. LaFemme Nikita Maligan. I talked him up. We had talked about him challenging Terekov for a starting position. He has been a super sub so far this season. We know he has goals in him, despite I think he only has like 8 or 9 finishing. He just finds a way to score goals. But this offer was just too good to pass up. We originally signed him for $6,500. He was worth $11,000 at the time. They came in with an offer for $110,000 with the possibility of it going up to $175,000. So I think that is an absolute steal of a deal. As good as Maligan has performed, and it's going to be hard to replace those goals. As good as he has performed, to get that sort of return on him is absolutely amazing. That was by far, I think, the hardest player to let go, just because we did have such high hopes for him, and he is still pretty young. We also got rid of Volkov, our young right back. Again, this was just another offer that we couldn't turn down. We had signed him for $175,000. He was worth $220,000, and we sold him for $350,000. So again, we're turning a profit on this player. He had, a lot of potential. I think he was only 22. He still had a lot of room to grow, but with that offer, it was just too hard to say no. Like I said, we're a small club. We need to make money. The easiest way for us to make money is to sell players. And some of these offers, you just can't resist, no matter how much you like the player. We also sent Gaston Alvarez Suarez packing. He was sort of the heartbeat of our midfield. So again, this was a tough one to pull the trigger on. But I don't think we were going to get many better offers than what we got for him. He is a player that's now entering his prime. He's not going to grow. We knew what we had with him. He was a good player. Like I said, he was sort of the engine of our midfield. But we had to capitalize on him. When we got this offer, we had to take it. He was worth $400,000. They gave us $400,000 straight up. Potential to go up to $500,000. I think, given where he was at in his career, I think that was a fair deal. It doesn't seem like we may have made that much off of him. But again, this is a player we signed on a free. Finding those gems, selling them. That's what this club has to do. And then last but not least, we sold Terekov. We originally signed him for $90,000. He was worth $155,000. Again, the deal, we got $250,000 straight up with the potential to go up to $325,000. I know we just sold our number 1 and our number 2 strikers. I know that looks bad, but we made a lot of money. 1.6 million total. There's room for some of these to grow. I think we did fairly well. Now, the issue, of course, is that we were sitting atop the table. And I basically just gutted the team. If we look, I got rid of our starting left midfielder. I got rid of our number 1 and number 2 strikers. I got rid of our starting right back. I got rid of a starting midfielder. And I got rid of our number 4 center back. So a pretty good number of starters and important players in there that we got rid of. Did I screw up the team? Have I ruined this season? Maybe, but I think we still have enough quality about us to pull this around. It's going to take a little bit of time for this team to gel, but I think I did a good enough job bringing players in that we can still compete. Let's go ahead and just go straight down the list. We'll just go down in order and talk about some of these players. Not all of them are hits, I must admit. Yegor Yevtiv, that is just a lot of Y's and a lot of E's. 24-year-old right back. Again, we needed, having got rid of Volkov, we needed a right back. I think what's probably going to end up happening is it might be a platoon situation. I mean, yeah, Teef, he's okay. He's not really that great at anything, but he's not necessarily horrendous either. There's a lot of things we would like to see him, improve on. He is 24. He has a little bit of room to grow, just a little bit of room. So I'm not really sure what we will get out of him. I think at the very least, he will be serviceable for the rest of the season. We have Mamonov. He's one of those guys that was sort of a miss, just a 2-star player. In his prime, he's not going to get any better. He sort of replaces Klimov in that he could kind of play on the wing. He could kind of play center back. He's a guy that we're going to rotate in just when people need a rest. Again, not the greatest player, but he's, a third or a fourth option. It's okay. He'll do a job for us. Next up is Sergeyev. Again, we just wanted to strengthen our back line. It became apparent that we weren't incredibly deep in our back line, so I wanted to sign some guys for some added depth. This guy will do a good job. He's, in his prime. This is what we're going to get. He's very strong. He has some pretty good mental abilities. Obviously, we would like to see some of them boosted, but it is what it is. Overall, I don't think he's that bad. Not a great player. He's not going to be a superstar. But again, I think this is the sort of player that we can plug in when we need to rest somebody and we won't be hurt too much by him. So this was probably one of our more important signings. This looks to be the replacement for Suarez. Him and Sereda are going to be battling out, but I think for the time being, this is going to be the straight replacement for Alvarez Suarez. 26-year-old French midfielder Theo Perot. I think he is a solid player. Overall, he looks to just be a solid player. I think this is a great pickup for us. Really well-rounded in terms of his physical abilities, He has pretty decent mental abilities, pretty good technical abilities. He's not a perfect fit with the role we want to play him in, but I think he will do well enough in there. I don't think we're going to lose that much plugging him in instead of Alvarez Suarez. So we got rid of our top 2 strikers, and I have to admit that I probably did not do the greatest job replacing them. I had some deals that were in the works, but they fell through. I had to bring in some people, so I tried to do the best I could. The first person I brought in is Markin. I mean, to be completely fair, he's not that much worse, I don't think, than Malagin or Terekov, at least on paper. We'll see how he performs in a game. 26-year-old Russian, 3 stars, both in ability and potential. I think overall, he's just a solid player, sort of a jack of all trades, maybe a master of none. But it looks like he's going to be our new number 1 striker, at least for the time being. And then lastly, we have Alexander Melikov, another striker. Like I said, we needed to replace people. I know this guy is not that good, but I was trying to find a player that would sort of fit in our style of play. And I was looking for a Russian poacher that wanted to come here. And this guy seemed like the best option. You can see he's pretty pacey, has really good acceleration. Obviously, we would like to see his mentals be way up. His finishing is pretty decent, though. I think he can sort of fill the role that Malagin played. Maybe coming in off the bench, his concentration and stuff isn't the best. So maybe in limited roles, he might perform well. I think he will fit our system of, knocking the ball long and having our striker chase it down. I think he's sort of built for that. So I think in short spurts, he might actually be a pretty productive player for us. So there it is, guys. Those are the transfers. Let me know what you think. Did I just completely butcher this team and ruin any chance? Or do you think I did enough to sort of make us still competitive? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys think I should have continued with the short-term goal of perhaps getting promoted, maybe challenging for the playoffs, or was a long-term goal of being profitable, making the club money so that we can improve our facilities, the right decision? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. That's going to do it for this episode. Be sure to like and favorite. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Follow along the companion blog at teambusquets.com. The blog is Will Work for Food. You can find the link for that and all my other social media in the description below. Follow me on Twitter for all the latest updates. And until next time, guys, peace. Oh man, I hope I didn't screw this up.